Stop. Right. Sharing the screen. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in this evening. Let's get started with the prayers. Please join me in chanting the prayers. Fold your hands and we'll chant together. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasha Tadeshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So again we are resuming our series on five jewels from Bhagavad Gita, which in between, because of Janmashtami, we took some other sessions on Balram Jayanti and Janmashtami. So today in this series, we are discussing the last verse. As earlier also we discussed, not every verse of Bhagavad Gita is like a jewel, but we are just selectively discussing few of the verses which we feel like might be very relevant for all of us to discuss and understand and try to apply some of those teachings in our day-to-day life. So today's verses we are discussing. Let me just share my screen here. You all can see, right? Okay, so this is the verse from chapter 12, entitled as Devotional Service. And this particular series of verses starting from 13th. So 12th chapter is a small chapter where Krishna talks about basically the three items. So in the first few verses, he talks about the idea of God is personal or impersonal. So people have that God is not a person, God is some light, some energy, and something like that. So initial some 7 verses, Krishna clarifies the doubt in a very clear-cut words. He says that which worship is considered as the best worship, and Krishna straight away says the worshipping my personal form is the best. So there is a worship for there's the idea of this impersonal worship also, but Krishna says worshipping Lord as a person is the best. And then in the next few verses 8 to 12, Krishna talks about the progressive stages on the devotional path. So Krishna says, what is the best thing that my mana adasva? He says that best is that you should always absorb your mind into thinking of me. But if you're gonna do this, then he suggests some options. You can do the sadhana bhakti. If somebody says, no, I cannot practice the rules and regulations also, that is difficult for me, then Krishna gives another option. Okay, no problem. You work and offer that result, or you work for me. And then he further suggests, okay, you work for yourself, offer the result to me. So like that, Krishna is trying to very eagerly accommodate every one of us. Okay, if you're gonna do this thing, try to do this much. If you can do this also, try to do this. So that is the second part of this chapter. And the third part, this is very, very significant portion of this chapter, 13 to 20. There's 8 verses. It talks about some qualities that Krishna uh, expect the practicing devotees to develop those qualities. And in the series of verses, Krishna again and again uses Yo me bhakta same priya. That devotee is very dear to me. That devotee is very dear to me. He speaks some qualities and then he says, if one who has these qualities, he is very dear to me. So I thought it is very relevant for all of us because we somewhat, somewhere, a little bit, we have all decided that, okay, this is our path. We are all trying to progress on the spiritual path. But there are some things which are very, very favorable, which can make us dear to Krishna. So the qualities which endears Krishna. So what are those qualities? Many, many qualities Krishna talks about in this series. Almost like 35 different qualities Krishna mentions through these verses, 13 to 28. We will try to discuss how much ever we can cover. Of course, our plan is not to cover all, that we can make another series probably, but today we'll just focus on this particular verse. So please repeat after me this verse. Advashta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha sama dukkha sukhakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishayah मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धे यो मद्भक्तः मे प्रियः. So the translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: one who is not envious, but who is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor, who is free from false ego, and equal both in happiness and distress, who is always satisfied and engaged in devotional service with determination, and whose mind and intelligence are in agreement with me. He is very dear to me. So here we get the clue how we can become dear to Krishna. And we'll try to analyze all these different qualities and try to see that first the check whether we have those qualities, and also we'll discuss about how we can develop those qualities more importantly. Right? So this is the verse. So I'll talk about the first one, like 13th. It says Advashta Sarvabhutanam. So what quality Krishna wants to see in us, those who are practicing devotees? This quality is Advashta. There should not be any Dvesha. Dvesha means envy. So Advashta means non-envious. So a practicing devotee, or anyone for that matter, should be non-envious. Now we should ask the question, not to answer others, but to ourselves. Are we envious? Some of us might feel, no, I'm not envious, I'm okay. We'll try to understand what is this enviousness. So this is the first qualification. And actually, this is not the first time that Krishna is talking about this particular quality in Bhagavad Gita. From the beginning only, Krishna is talking about this in different verses. Krishna in the beginning also, he spoke that Arjuna, because you are non-envious, that is why I chose you to deliver this message. So this is the qualification that one should be non-envious, adveshta. Okay, so to whom we should be non-envious? All the fellow beings, the human beings. But he's saying no. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. You should be non-envious to sarva bhutanam, which includes all varieties of living entities. So in this modern age, we see and how people, they're trying to be very nice. They talk in a very sophisticated way, good language, good etiquettes with the humans. And while doing all of that, they will be eating something which is coming at the cost of somebody's life, non-veg. Right? So people pose themselves as very sophisticated, lot of etiquettes, very evolved people, intellectuals, and all of that. So, and then they're cutting, slaughtering the animals and eating them. So Krishna is bringing this point, is saying, Advashta Sarva Bhutana, should not be envious to anyone. Meaning, you should be kind on other living entities also. Don't just think that, these living entities, they're anyway insignificant or lower entities. So we have got some right to slaughter them and eat them up. That is not the way. So Advashta Sarva Bhutanam. So that is first quality, non-envious. Then also we should be Matraha. Matra means we should be friendly with everyone. Now there are two different things. Matra is being friendly. It is not equal to friendship. There's two different things. This is called Matra. Friendship is Mitrata. So you may not be friend to everyone, but you can be friendly to everyone. Otherwise, somebody says, oh, it is very impractical. How you can be friend to everyone? We cannot make so many friends. So it is not about that you make friendship with everyone, but you can be friendly with everyone, whomever you meet. So one should be having this quality of being friendly And also Karuna. Karuna means one should be kind. And then Nirmama, Nirahankaraha. So this Nirmama is this proprietorship, that everything belongs to me. Whatever I possess, me and mine, that concept. So one should be free from this false proprietorship. And then Nirahankaraha. Ahankar means that one should be free from the false ego. So these are the qualities. And then finally he says, Sama Dukkha Sukha Kshami. So one should be equal in Sukh and Dukh, in happiness and distress. And also one should be Shami. Shami means one should be forgiving. Now in just one verse, Krishna spoke so many qualities. Advaita, Maitra, Karuna, Nirmama, Nirankara, Sama Dukkha Sami, Asama, Sukh and Dukh, and then Shami. 7 qualities talking in just one verse. And then Krishna says, Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priya. That devotee will be very, very dear to me. Now we all want to be dear to Krishna. We are trying to make Krishna as the dearest object of our life, and at the same time, we also want to become a dear to Krishna. That is the goal. But how? So I'll just read the purport a little bit, and then let me just share my screen once. So just please pay attention, and then we'll get into discussion. Purport. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualification of a pure devotee in these 2 verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks that one is acting as his enemy due to his own past misdeeds. Thus, it is better to suffer than to protest. So Prabhupada gives a wonderful clues that how we really bring these kind of ideas and apply them in our life. What should be our thought process? So we'll discuss that, but just pay attention. Every single statement is, very deep and gives a lot of clue to develop those qualities. Okay. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Tatte Nugampa Susamikshmanaha. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I am suffering now. It is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient, despite many distressful conditions. A devotee is always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmama means that a devotee does not attach much importance to the peace and trouble pertaining to the body, because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is freed from the conception of false ego and is equipoised both in happiness and distress. He is tolerant and is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always joyful. He is a completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instructions received from the spiritual master. And because his senses are controlled, he is determined. He is not swayed by false argument, because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. All his qualifications enable him to depend entirely on the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but a devotee becomes situated in that stage by following the regulative principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord says that such a devotee is very dear to him, for the Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Wonderful, guidance, great qualities, long way to go to develop all these qualities. And Dvesta, Sarvudana. To some people we can be very nice, but just think, are there some people that we don't like them? Or when we look at them and say, oh, this person, why did I see? Something is there in the heart, right? Sarvbhutana. Some people, those who are nice to us, we also try to be nice to them. But somebody who has done something, spoken a little harshly, rudely, then immediately some kind of unpleasant feelings are there in our heart. So it's some kind of little enviousness. So Advaita Sarva Bhutanam, right? And then important what is happening here is Krishna is talking about Same Bhakta, Same Priyaha. Priya means that devotee is very, very dear to me. So Krishna is actually offering that how we can become dear to Krishna. And easy. And that is what is the goal. We had to become dear to Krishna. We made Krishna as goal of our life. One second. I have to mute someone. Okay, so Krishna is talking about this love. Krishna has already spoken about the love, but now he's going next level. So Krishna earlier also said that devotee is very dear to me. What kind of devotee? Those who are surrendering unto me, those who are making me the goal of life, like that. So Krishna is all through Bhagavad Gita talking about this love. Love is the goal. But what love? Love of Godhead. That is the goal. Love for Krishna is the goal of life. Not love for the things in this world and people in this world. We can be loving to them, but that is not the goal. Goal is how to develop our love for Krishna. So Krishna already spoken about that, love. Like say the mother loves the child, right? But mother's love for child can be there, but not necessarily that mother trusts the child. There is a love, but there is no trust in that kind of a love. The child is still not grown enough, is not mature enough to handle certain things. Say mother loves the child unconditionally, say for example, the child is carrying, holding some knife. Mother cannot trust. Oh, I love you, so I trust you blindly. This is one level of love. But the mature love is that there is love and there is also a trust. So for that, we have to become mature. So Krishna is saying, anyone who is coming in devotional service is very dear to me. So it is like a child. We are all coming in devotional service, chanting, coming to temple, trying to learn, trying to practice, and all of that. So that itself makes us dear to Krishna. So it's not like that so far we have all these qualities, Krishna doesn't like us, or we are not dear to Krishna, it is little disappointing. I don't have all those qualities. So does it mean that I'm not dear to Krishna? Krishna is saying anyone, even somebody is a sinful person. Krishna says even a sinful person also, api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavya. Krishna already declared that in the ninth chapter, 9.30, that somebody who had done some abominable act, very sinful person, but bhajate mam ananya bhak, but somehow he just, bhajate mam, he is worshipping me, chanting my holy name. To that person also, sadhureva samantavya. I consider him as a great devotee. So we are all dear to Krishna because Krishna is our father. But this, what we are talking here is next level love with trust, where Krishna feels confident about that relation. So, like that, right? So, Krishna is suggesting that, okay, develop these qualities. So, love at multiple level. So far we are chanting and doing all that. Krishna is loving. But next level, Krishna is suggesting that, okay, it should mature. Our relationship with Krishna should mature. So, for that, we have to develop all these qualities. Right. So it is very important because when we develop all these qualities and we start acting virtuously, we should understand what happens in our life, what qualities being discussed here. Somehow or other we manage to develop those qualities, start acting virtuously. Then Krishna start acting through us. We become an instrument for Krishna. And that is the greatest achievement that one can have. If we are free from all kind of enviousness in the heart, we are friendly to everyone, we are kind to everyone, then Krishna will make us the instrument for his mission, right? And that can be the greatest achievement that one can have, and we can become an instrument in the service of the Lord. So for that, we had to develop these qualities. We had to act virtuously. If we don't act virtuously, then we kind of block Krishna to act through us. Krishna is willing to use us in his service. But he says, okay, certain qualification is needed. If you're not pure enough, I cannot use you. We should become the perfect instrument, right? So it is very important that we develop all these qualities so that we can become an instrument. Otherwise, we'll be stopping, we will be blocking Krishna to use us in his service. So like that. So it is very, very important. So let us talk about these qualities, few minutes, and then maybe it will be a quick check for all of us. The Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the scriptures are like they're mirrors. When you look in the mirror, you see that how do you look, right? So it is not about looking externally, but there is a mirror which shows us how do we look within. So when you read all the scriptures and all these qualities, Advaita, and then you start contemplating, thinking, meditating, then you realize, oh my God, I'm not Advaita. Maybe I have some little enviousness, it's contamination. To some people I'm very nice, very respectful, very gentle, very loving. Some people I just don't want to see them. So why it is like that? So let us understand this from where this enviousness is coming. Many times what happens is this enviousness is a big subject. And as Krishna explains in the 7th chapter, Ichcha Dvesha Samuttena Dvanda Mohena Bharata. The root cause of we all being stuck here in this material world, why we are bound here in this world. One of the root causes is Dvesh. We are envious. What is that enviousness? We are envious of the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. And that might be little revolutionary concept. Say that is okay. Why will envy the Supreme Lord? Bhagavan is Bhagavan. But that is the root cause that Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, because of which we are here in this material world. We are not ready to listen what Krishna is saying. We are so adamant because of enviousness. So that is the root cause. From where this enviousness is coming? That desire to enjoy independent from the Lord. That concept, that idea that I am the enjoyer, I should enjoy, that brings the enviousness. That is the root cause. We might sometimes blame others. Oh, because this person said like that, this person did like that, and that is why I reacted like this. I behave like this. But with other people, I'm okay. But this particular person, I'm not okay. Because of this person, I'm becoming envious. We can say to justify our enviousness. But we should understand it is not, enviousness is not coming from outside, from external sources. It's coming from within. It is there deep down. Only thing is when it will come out, in what circumstances, with what people it will come out, that we need to understand. And then we try to improve ourselves, that we have to become non-envious. So how do we become non-envious? We can go on talking about this enviousness, but how do we understand that? Any suggestions? Anybody has? Any understanding? Any ideas? Those are joining online. Okay. So let us talk a little bit practical. This is also practical, but surrendering Krishna means what? What is the action item? It remains more like a theory, surrendering to Krishna. So the first thing we should understand that why this enviousness is coming is because we are not actually connected to Krishna from the heart. We are trying, we are practicing. It is a loose connection. Sometimes for some people it is a loose connection. For some people it is a lost connection. There is no connection only. So either it is loose connection or lost connection. There will be immediately enviousness, meaning we don't see Krishna in some connection with other people. And that is when this enviousness comes. So as soon as we have that connection with Krishna, and when we talk about connection with Krishna, which what we call it, Krishna consciousness, it is not between me and Krishna only. It is between me and everyone, because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. So if I have some connection with Krishna, some loving relation, some respect, some devotion, then naturally I'll respect everyone who is in connection with Krishna. And who is in connection with Krishna? There's no one who is not in connection with Krishna. So then you cannot be envious. So the point is what we can work on. Practical thing is we can develop our connection with Krishna in true sense, not artificially, not theoretically, but sincerely how we can develop that connection with Krishna, right? And then we'll be able to handle this. It is like, when sometimes you see the mothers, like it is a close example of love in this world. Of course, it is also not 100% unconditional love. There are some conditions. Maybe the child is newly born, that time it might be unconditional. But when they start growing up, a lot of condition comes, a lot of expectation comes. But just to understand, now mother loves the child. She never hates. She can never hate. Whatever child does, sometimes we see here, some kids come in the temple, they keep running around, keep making noise, and we tell them something, and then mother comes. They try to justify something. No, that is their expression of their love. They understand that the child is creating some nonsense, but they can't accept that because the love comes out. They say, oh, no, no, Prabhuji, the child is very nice, but other kids were running because of them. They also started running, something like that. Right? When there is a love, there cannot be any hate. Right? So that love is missing. That love with Krishna, that is missing. So we had to work on how to develop that love with Krishna. So like that. Another example I was thinking, you know, small child, sometimes their nose is running, all dirty things. So some other people, like some other mothers or someone neighbors, when they see, they say, oh, this is, they might look, they might make some face. They can point out, hey, looking so dirty or something like that. But the actual mother comes of the child, she doesn't hate, she doesn't show the faces. What she does, she immediately goes and cleans the nose and everything she will do, right? Because she immediately sees that connection. The relation is there. So what happens in that relationship, if there's something which is like you want to hate, still you don't hate because there is a loving relation. So in the same way, when we develop our loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, then you see some people around us, they're not good, they're not very refined in their way of dealing and so many things. So what you will do, instead of hating them, you will try to clean their nose. You'll try to help them because naturally you see that connection. Okay, how can I help? Especially in the devotee community when we come. At least outside world, it is very difficult and challenging. Of course, that is the goal that we can develop. Sarva Bhutanam. But we can start from few Bhutanam here, if not serve, we have to start from somewhere, at least few. Some devotees, like-minded people, they say, oh, I don't like this devotee, I don't like that person, this Prabhuji, that Mataji. So instead of seeing that their nose is running, it is looking very dirty, why don't you act like a mother? Go and clean their nose, and somebody will be cleaning your nose also. That is how it is. So we have to understand all those practical things that, like, when sometimes your hand is dirty, you don't hate your hand. Or because it is dirty, what do? You go and wash your hand, right? Because you understand, you feel that, oh, this hand is mine. This is my part and parcel. So if it is dirty also, it is smelling so badly, still you don't hate and cut the hand. You clean it. You try to clean it, right? So similarly, if you see some hands are dirty around us, then immediately you understand, oh, this is all mine. Krishna is mine, and these are all Krishna's part and parcel. So instead of hating them and being envious to them, let me just try to clean in whatever best possible way I can do, right? So like that. So it is very, very important thing that if we don't have this non-envious nature, it's very deep rooted actually. It will take a long time if we are not careful. First of all, for many, many years, people want to realize that there is some envy inside. You think, oh, this is the way, this is how we deal with the people in the world. But then we start realizing, okay, there's something is wrong. And then you struggle to come out from that. And until and unless we are from envy, they say that so far there is envy, there is envy. Envy means and we, no vacancy. There's no vacancy in the spiritual world. We had to become free from this envy. Otherwise, there's no envy, there's no vacancy in the spiritual world. We are not qualified to enter there because the nature of the spiritual world is everybody is non-envious there. So if we have even a tinge of enviousness in our heart, we are not qualified to enter to that space, right? So we should work on that. So this is Advaita Sarva Bhutanam. And then what Krishna is talking the next item is saying that Matra Karuna Evacha. So what is this Matra? We can be very friendly. So how we can become friendly? Any idea? But how does it come that being nice to everyone? What is that being nice means? Hmm. Yes. So we can be nice to everyone. The same concept again will help you to develop this quality. See, like when sometime, you might have seen some monkeys, they find some mirror. Monkey, when look at the mirror, what he does? Start hitting the mirror. Why? He thinks there is another monkey there. And that is the nature that, oh, why only me? I am the only monkey. So I should be there only. But when a human beings, they look at the mirror, what they do, they don't hit. They want to be there and they just keep looking at the mirror. Right? Because they understand they're not different. They're actually me only. So in the same way, when we see the other living entities, we see they're actually not different. Their source is also the same as my source. So it is not someone which I should get against, but it is very much part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and I'm also the part and parcel of Krishna. So with that connection, what happens? We are like the child of the same father, children of the same father. So then we can develop some, loving relations, some friendly relationship with others. So that is how we should think whenever we meet anyone. We should practice. We should try to develop. What we are talking is a theory now. It won't come just like that. We have to practice, and we have to be very, very watchful, very conscious that how I'm behaving with people. Am I nice to them when I'm talking something? Says, okay, everybody is nice, I'm also nice. But somebody does something, that time I also become fire. That time I can control my emotions and I blurt it out. And then later I realized. So then we should be conscious who I'm behaving in certain situations. And then gradually we can improve ourselves like that. Right. And that is the way we have to be friendly. And at the same time, so many times people ask, okay, bro, we can be friendly, but what about people? They are not nice to us. So what to do with that? We are trying to be nice to everyone, but some people they're trying to take advantage for goodness and all of that. So how to handle that? So we should understand that when we trying to be nice doesn't mean that we become dumb. You should be intelligent also. So you can be nice and you can be intelligent also. So meaning we certain things, certain people, they're trying to harm you in some ways, trying to exploit you. You have to deal with them practically. But the dealing is not coming from some envious nature. It is coming out of duty, in the sense of duty. Like for example, like when Prahlad Maharaj and Narsimha appeared, now Prahlad Maharaj was not envious. He did not say, okay, now finally it is my day. Let me tell Narsimha that, okay, this, my father, the useless fellow, demonic father, now kill him. He was not envious. He was still very nice. And at the end, when Narasimhadev asked him, okay, what is the benediction you want? He says, I don't want anything. But still you want to offer something, then my only prayer to you is, please forgive all his offenses which he has committed into your lotus feet. So this is being friendly. Despite all kinds of bad things that demonic father had done, still he is wishing all the good, wishing him well. So that we can develop, you know. So now we might be wondering how it will come. Clue was given in the purport. I don't know if any of you just took the note of it. Anybody has any idea? Prabhupada, toward the end of the purport, he gave the clue. Yes. But how to develop this quality? Prabhupada gave some clue. Okay, Prabhupada says we are all, when sincerely try to practice the pure devotional service, all these qualities will automatically manifest. So this is the way. Now we are just trying to, uh, doing some analysis, hair splitting analysis. What is enviousness? What is this? Sometimes people might get overwhelmed. Oh, this is too much. I should be non-envious. I should be friendly. I should be, kind and compassionate. Oh, this is. I forgot one thing. One time I was non-envious, but I was not kind. Another time I was not forgiving. Another time I was not friendly. Will be bogged down by all this analysis. So the solution is here. Prabhupada is giving the solution. When we sincerely try to practice the follow the principles of devotional service, all these qualities will in the due course manifest. But at the same time, we can also be a little watchful and little conscious that we are not, behaving recklessly like that. So there is this verse comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Harao Bhaktasya Kato Mahatguna, says, Sarvar Gunas Tatra Samasate Zura. Basically, that verse explains that when somebody is engaged in the service of in the seva of the Lord, then what happens? Says Sarvar Gunas Tatra Samasate Zura. All the great qualities, wonderful qualities, which is found in the great devotees, will automatically manifest in our heart. So we need not to work on each and every aspect of all this what we are discussing. We can be just a little careful. But what we should focus on is rendering the sincere, serious devotional service. When we do, automatically all these qualities will come. And then when we read Bhagavad Gita gives us some good perspective. Some situations comes, somebody is harming you, how to handle, some challenging situations comes in life, some dukkha, like we are reading here, sama dukkha sukha kshami. So one should be equipoised in sukh and dukkha. How to handle that? So Bhagavad Gita will give you some perspective. Like one of the concept that Prabhupada mentioned from the prayers of Brahmaji. Tatte nukampa susamikshmana munjana evatma kritam vipakam. So this is a very powerful verse wherein Brahmaji explains in that verse that whatever it is coming in my life, either it is happiness or distress, I take it as tatte anukampa. I consider it as your anukampa, your mercy. So everything is Lord's mercy. That is the devotee's perspective. Devotee doesn't blame the Lord when they go through some challenging situations, some difficulties. Oh Lord, what is happening? You're not helping us. You're not protecting. Rather, devotee understand whatever is coming in my life, it is coming as Lord's grace, Lord's mercy. Because of my past misdeeds, I am prone to get more and more, far more suffering. But it is Lord's mercy that this suffering is coming like a token reaction. Because I am connected to the Lord, trying to surrender to the Lord, I'm trying to serve the Lord. So Lord is personally taking care. And then He is giving me some token reaction. Some big thing is supposed to come, some small something will come and you'll be released from the big reaction. So that is the devotee's perspective. So with that perspective, they are even happy receiving all those challenges, those difficulties. So naturally they can remain sama dukkha sukha kshami. They remain equipoised. In fact, they become thankful to the Lord. And Lord, whatever is coming, I take it as your grace. Also, another perspective to understand that is, whenever there is a difficulty for a devotee take that as an opportunity to remember the Lord, to become more prayerful, more dependent, more surrendered to the Lord. So any difficult situation, any challenges in our life, mentally, physically, financially, relationally, whatever is all variety of challenges, a devotee should take that as an opportunity. At the same time, at the practical level, you can handle it in whatever best possible way, but you should not get bewildered within. You should not become, completely, don't lose the focus. You become completely lost because some challenge is going on in life. But devotee understand, okay, let me take this as an opportunity to remember the Lord. Maybe I have done some past misdeeds, and that is the truth. Whether you know it, whether you accept it or not, but that is the reality. We understand from the scriptures. Whatever is coming, somebody might become a via media. Oh, because of this person, he did like that, she did like that, I had to face the challenge. And it is so bad. So somebody has to become the via media at different causes. There is immediate cause and there is ultimate cause. So somebody might become the immediate cause. Oh, because of this person, this is going on. And what is the ultimate cause? Ultimate cause is the Supreme Lord. And in between, there is an intermediate cause, which is my karma. So my karma is coming through some person. And ultimately, all that has been sanctioned by the ultimate cause, which is the Supreme Lord. So instead of getting into all this blame game, she is or he is like that, something, blaming the situations, blaming the Lord himself. Many times people go to that extent. Oh, we have been coming to temple, we've been chanting Hare Krishna. so many years we've been devotees, and something happens, some unpleasant thing. It happens with some people. Somebody dies, a young person in the family, and they lose the faith in the Lord. It means they're not understood the philosophy properly. Just because we are devoted doesn't mean that we'll not face any challenges in our life. Then somebody will ask, then what is the point of being the devotee and practicing all of this, reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting? The point is, you should be, see, this all this knowledge makes us equipped to handle those situations in a more sober way. That is what it is offering. This knowledge is not offering that there will be no problem in your life. There can be all kinds of problem to the devotees, like those who are fully surrendered devotees. They can have some physical illness, they can have some challenges financially, and so many other problems can be there. But a devotee who's truly understood the philosophy and trying to become more Krishna conscious, that person will not be disturbed by all of those things. Rather, the devotee will take that as an opportunity to become more and more deepening his relationship with the Lord. We see such example in the Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani is, of course, the extreme example for all of us. We cannot artificially imitate those great devotees. Kunti Maharani is not just thankful that all these problems, what is going on in Pandava's life right from the beginning, right from their childhood. She is not only just thankful, she go to the next extent. She is saying, may those calamities happen again and again. So she is not saying, thank you, Lord, for giving me these problems. I'll handle. It is your mercy. She is saying, give me more. Who asks more miseries? So the devotees. How is it possible? Is it possible, first of all? Is it not possible? It is not possible for ordinary people, not for sadhakas. We cannot artificially imitate also. You can say that, oh Lord, please give me more. And then in your heart, you will be, praying also. Don't sanction this prayer. I just said to impress some people around me. But Lord, my prayer, my sincere prayer is, please don't sanction that prayer. you know. So we are so fearful. What if Krishna sanctioned little bit, that may those calamities happens again and again? Just little something happen, will be bewildered. So we cannot artificially imitate that, but the great devotees, they can do that. How it can be done? So I was explaining the other day in the class. I've been discussing these teachings of Queen Kunti in Friday morning classes. So I was thinking like how it is possible. So one example I thought, I'll share this example to understand that how it is possible, this kind of consciousness, who can have this kind of consciousness? So think of a boy who is an orphan, who has no parents, somehow just, growing. And when he is grown up boy, and one time he's playing the cricket with his friends, and then in that plaything, he got hit by ball or something, he got hurt, injured, and he was hospitalized. When he was in hospital, the nurse who was taking care of this boy, who was an orphan boy, she was so loving, very motherly, very caring, and all of that. And this boy has never experienced this motherly affection, that motherly love. And for few days, he was like, oh, she's so nice, so loving, so caring, and all of that. Few days it went by. And then when he got cured, he came out. And then again he's playing. When he's playing there and he's missing that love, that care from that mother, and in his heart is thinking, I wish I get hit again. So I go back to hospital and again I can experience that love. So is it possible like that? In the same way, a devotee who is in a very advanced consciousness, when some challenges come in their life, some difficulties come in their life, and when they become completely dependent on the Lord and they very intensely cry out the Lord, and that experience, that reciprocation, when there's no difficulty, they don't have that experience. So in that state of consciousness, they can pray, I want to experience that loving reciprocation from the Lord. And that was possible when there are a lot of calamities. So may those calamities happen again and again. So it's a very advanced stage. But the point what we are trying to understand here is, we are talking these qualities, Advaishta Sarvbhutanam, Maitra Karuna Evacha. We should be friendly. We should be Karuna. Karuna means we should be kind to everyone. Sarvbhutanam. Not only just my family, my extended family, my society, my nation. And of course, that level also people are not there. People are nowadays not about my family also. They're just all about me, 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 me. People are so self-possessed in this modern age. They doesn't even care about the family also. This is the kind of civilization, it's growing. So for everyone, like one time, Prabhupada was in the mid of the night, he was translating in his room, and then suddenly he saw one small bug, just crawling there. Then Prabhupada rang the bell, and he called his servant, came inside, and then Prabhupada says, "Okay, take this bug out on a leaf, get some leaf, dry leaf from the garden, take this." And when this servant was very carefully taking that bug on the leaf, and he said, "Okay, leave him outside." And then Prabhupada told him, this person says, when you drop him, give him some prasadam also to eat. Might be hungry, this bug, because there was nothing in the room to eat. That bug might be just roaming around in search of some food. So this is the kindness, the compassion for everyone. Even a small bug, who cares about that bug? People don't even look, right? We just walk and we just, so many ants might be crawling and people just blindly walking. So many of those bugs we will be killing. Nobody cares like that. So that kind-heartedness, how it comes when somebody is a devotee, that is a natural sign of a devotee, natural symptom of a devotee. Sarva gunas tatra samasate suraha. All the great qualities naturally comes. When somebody becomes a devotee, his heart softens. It becomes very soft-hearted person. If we truly and sincerely practice these principles like that, and then naturally you'll have the kind-heartedness. One time when Prabhupada was walking on a morning walk, on the riverside, I think on the ocean. So he saw that some people were, on the surfing board on the water. And for Prabhupada, these things were new in America, like India, those things were not seen in those days. So he was always very curious to understand the culture and the people. So when Prabhupada saw that people were surfing on the boats and all playful things they were doing, Prabhupada asked the disciples what they're doing. So one of the disciples said that Prabhupada, they're surfing. And then Prabhupada, immediately there were tears in his eyes. And he said, they're not surfing, they're suffering in this world. They're wasting this human form of life with all these playful things. So that is the natural, kind, and compassionate heart of a pure devotee. Now, for many people, it will be, oh, big thing, something, I want to know more. But their perspective is completely different. Right? One time, Prabhupada was walking, and then these people, they were playing this, what do you call it? With a horse, you hit the ball and then goes in the polo, right? So there's some people who are doing that, and then in the garden, and Prabhupada asked what these people are doing. So Prabhupada, they're playing this polo or something. And he said, what is that? Then they were explaining, in this game, what they had to do is take the stick and there is a ball and there is a hole, and they had to hit the ball and try to put in the hole. And then Prabhupada was very, very grave and serious. Said they're wasting their human form of life by putting one ball into the hole. That is not the goal of life. Such an important human form of life, they're wasting by doing all these useless things. Now that is seen in this modern age as like, the game for some aristocratic people. But how foolish it is from the Vedic perspective, from the scriptural perspective. You're just wasting like hours and hours, they're hitting the ball. Little, little, little. And oh, this is a great thing. The ball goes in the hole. Yes, we are done. What you are done? They're also going to the, not hole, they're going to hell. And this is the kind of activities people are doing in this modern age without even realizing. So this is karuna. Karuna means when they see all these things happen, naturally their heart melts, out of care and concern. Where these people are going, what is happening to the civilization? So like that, when Prabhupada came to America and he was almost entering, Prabhupada wrote one song on the onboard Jaluduta. This song is very famous. The name of that song is Markine Bhagwat, like preaching the message of Bhagavad Dharma in the America. So it's a very, very deep song. Maybe sometime we'll discuss that. So Prabhupada writes that because he could see what is happening, like so much, glitter in this country, in this civilization, but everybody is blinded by that glitter. There's a lot of glittering here, but everybody is just blind. So light should opens your eyes, but too much light sometimes makes you blind, right? So this is this modern civilization is. So Prabhupada writes that how would I, he's just praying intensely to the Lord, writing the Bengali song, he's saying, he's praying to the Lord that how would I be able to preach this message, this pure message of Krishna to all these people, so absorbed in this tamogun, rajogun, completely lost. My dear Lord, I have no idea why you have brought me here. So in that helpless mood, in that helpless situation, Prabhupada is praying to the Lord and saying that I have no clue, I have no idea. How can I preach this message? How they will be able to understand this knowledge? They're so lost. And then Prabhupada says, but if you have brought me here, you might be having some important business to use me in the service of Him. So I am your most insignificant beggar, like that Prabhupada signs at the end, the most insignificant beggar, and he says, Nachao, Nachao, Amate. So he's saying that, Lord, I don't know like why you brought me here, but my prayer is that you use me as your instrument. Nachao, Nachao. You make me dance like a puppeteer, make the puppets dance. So I want to become your puppet and make me dance the way you want me to dance. So that was the prayer, that was the mood. So this is Karuna. And then, so Adveshta Sarvbhutanam, Karuna, Maitra Karuna Evacha, Nirmamo Nirahankara. Nirmama means people are, in this modern age, me, 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 me and mine. Bhagavatam also talks about this concept, aham mameti, me and mine. This is me and this is mine. This is me, this is my family. This is me, this is my car. Everything is all revolving around this me and mine. Right? So we had to come out from this. This is called mamatva. That so Krishna is talking about nirmama, that we had to become nirmama. Too much of this possessive attitude. You can have the possessions. There's nothing wrong in having possessions. Don't be possessive about your possessions. There's a difference. Somebody says, oh, we should not say that this is my car. If I have the car, I should say this is my car and you are calling it me. Why you are blaming me for calling my car my car? So it's about the attitude. What attitude? You can have whatever you want to have. If Lord has blessed us with some abilities, some opulences, great to have that. But what is your attitude? So it's not about what you have. What important is what you do with what you have. That is important. That is determined by your attitude. Right. So I just want to enjoy. So this kind of mamata is condemned in the scriptures. So Krishna is bringing, and this nature of this world is, it's very interesting to see that how people can become possessive about something very insignificant, and anyone can become. It's not about somebody is a very rich person who has a lot of things, and then he says, oh, this is my business, this is my money, this is my people, this is my reputation, and all that. Even an beggar, when a beggar also can become possessive about his begging ball. Some tuta futa, some bartan, where he asks some bag, and then he says, oh, this is my ball. This is the nature of the conditioned soul. So we can become attached. The seat you come to the class, say for example, oh, I sit always in the front row. This is my seat. Can you move to the next seat? So this is what is our conditioning. For all simple, insignificant things, we start, becoming so possessive like that. So we should be very, very careful that how we are doing. Some seva is given to us. Oh, I have been doing this seva. I'll only do. This is my seva. This is my seat. This is my something. Everywhere there is a trap. So one should be very, very careful. It's not like about we'll become possessive about big things. Even some small, insignificant things like that. So one should be careful. Right. So that is how we should understand. And we should be free from all this. So how to become free from all this? So we should always remind when we read and then remember some of the verses, recall those verses as Krishna says 5:29. Bhoktaram Yagdabsam Sarva Loko Maheshwaram. Krishna says, I am the Bhoktaram, I am the supreme enjoyer. That is the reality. And Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I am the Lord of all, Sarva Loka. All the three words, I am the master, I am the Lord. So if we keep those kind of understanding, those kind of concepts in our mind, Then what happens? Says, okay, Krishna is the Lord, Krishna is the master, Krishna is the proprietor. I'm just a custodian. So what happens is, see, we are not there telling that you become irresponsible. No, from today on, nothing is mine. Leave your house, leave your car, leave your bank balance. It is not mine. Not like that. Don't become irresponsible. You can play the role of a custodian than the ownership. Like say, for example, if you work in a corporate, they'll give you one laptop, right, to work. Now you have to be, very careful to keep it very safely. Your laptop, your personal laptop, you can just leave aside. But your office laptop, you become extra careful, right? So you understand that I am not the owner, somebody else is the owner. I'm responsible. So that understanding there, that Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the owner, but Krishna has made me, put me in this situation, some money, some possessions, whatever, abilities, so let me use it. But that laptop is used for what? And boss has given you the laptop to use for whom? For his work, not for your personal enjoyment. And you can enjoy while working. You can enjoy your work, but ultimately the result of that work goes to the boss. So similarly, when we are here, so many things are given to us. You enjoy nicely, nicely in the sense working for the Lord, using all those things in the service of the Lord, and that should be your pleasure. Okay, I have a lot of money. Krishna has given me the money. Let me engage, utilize that money in the service of Krishna. And that should become your pleasure. That should become your drive. I don't have enough money. Let me earn more money. Let me work hard so that I can serve Krishna in a better way. And there you can enjoy to work hard and to make business bigger or whatever, promotions and all of that. So sometimes people say, oh no, when we talk about this concept, you will become very irresponsible, apathetic to whatever. There will be no motivation to progress and advance in life. And that is again immature understanding of the concepts. You can be very, very enthusiastic. So if we rightly understand. So this is nirmama, right? And then nirahankara. We should not have that ego, not ahankar. Now this ahankar is also another thing which is available at every step. Either you're in the outside world, you come inside the temple, you are engaged in the devotional service, you're doing some nice service, there is ahankar. There is a possibility to become egoistic. I am doing this service. I was given this important service. This was the most important seva. I did that as a part of that important seva. Everywhere we find the opportunity to take that ego, to boost our ego. So one should be very, very careful. And that how we can become free from this false ego is it comes by knowledge. So anger is a sign of ignorance. If somebody is becoming too egoistic, then that person is completely ignorant person. He might be in a devotee dress. He might be sitting in the temple, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But his attitude is that egoistic. I mean, that person has not understood this knowledge properly. Completely ignorant person, right? And what is that ignorance? Ignorance about our insignificance. That is the first thing to understand in the spiritual path. That we are all insignificant. We are nothing. We might be thinking, I'm a great man, I'm a big CEO, I'm something, something. That is okay. But what is our value? Big CEO, next moment, what happens to big CEO? No control. A big CEO sleeps in the bathroom and dies. What your that position will work? Your millions and billions of dollars will be lying somewhere. Right. So we should understand, and we should not only just theoretically talk about all those things, we should practice to feel that I'm truly insignificant. And there's many, many things. See now, again, people will say, oh no, why we should think you are talking very pessimistic, negative? Why we should because whole world is talking about, hey, come on, you can do. They just keep pumping you. Right? All these motivational speakers. What they do is you might be insignificant. Say, oh, come on, you can do this, and all the story they will tell. They're pumping you. We are puncturing all that pump. Not we, Krishna is doing that. And that is the reality. We are insignificant, but point is, thinking and feeling and realizing that I am insignificant doesn't mean that you become again irresponsible, that you can't do anything. You do whatever abilities within abilities that Krishna has blessed us with, do that. Example is when Lord Ramchandra was building the bridge. on the ocean. So all kinds of people were there. Hanumanji was there. He was, lifting big boulders and throwing that. And there was a small squirrels were also there. Now squirrel might, get inferiority complex. Oh my God, I'm insignificant. What I'll do? This Hanumanji is lifting the full mountain and throwing. I cannot even move one small pebble. That is not the attitude. Attitude is, I can lift the small pebble. Let me lift that and engage that in the service of Krishna. So that is the right understanding. So this realization of I'm insignificant doesn't make you, uh, you know, inactive or ineffective or irresponsible. You do within your ability. You should know what is your abilities, and you try to stretch yourself, and then engage in the service of Krishna. And then with that kind of understanding, with that kind of knowledge, with that kind of attitude, we gradually overcome this kind of false evil. We should think, contemplate. If Krishna has given me some ability, I might be a good speaker, I might be a good singer, I might be a good manager, I might be some other skill set, from where it is coming. And we are blessed with certain abilities, all of us individually. Somebody is like a monkey, somebody is like a fish, but we are all very unique in our own way. But who created us in that unique way? That is Krishna. So we should be always thankful and grateful. And that attitude, that understanding, that realization comes as we get closer and closer to Krishna. That's the understanding, right? Like sometimes, when you stand in front of some big building and then you see such a big building, but when you start rising up, say you started flying, then what happens? That all those big buildings becomes very small, right? Another example can be seen here specifically to this anchor, that when you are flying up, then all these big buildings looks very small. But when you come down a little and you go closer to that, then you become very small in front of that building. The building looks big. So as soon as we start getting closer and closer to Krishna, then what happens? Oh, Krishna is so big, so unlimited. I was thinking I am big because I am flying high, and this is nothing. But you just come closer to Krishna and you'll say Krishna is unlimited. What is my potency? What is my ability? I'm very insignificant. So with that knowledge, we can gradually, develop this attitude of nirahankara. And then we discussed about this sama, sukha, dukha, shami. Shami means forgiving. So we can develop all those qualities, and whatever sukha and dukha comes, and we should take that as a mercy of the Lord. In the sukh also, it's not like the always dukkha, the misery is a problem. Even too much happiness is also a problem. What happens? That sukhesu vigata spraha, dukeshu man udvignana, sukhesu vigati spraha, vitrag bhaya grodha. So Krishna talks about that no, dukeshu udvigna manaha, dukh mein, the time of misery is the problems. Udvigna manaha, mind gets agitated. Sukhesu vigati spraha, in the happiness, you become over-related. And then you are like on cloud nine. You doesn't care about anything. Oh, I am like floating in the sky. So one should be careful. One should be always grounded in all the situations. So that is why it's important to just keep reminding ourselves, try to intensify your Krishna consciousness by sincerely chanting every day Hare Krishna mantra, reading Bhagavad Gita or some of the books very sincerely every day, not only just once in a while, once in a week, or once in a year on Janmashtami, something like that. People might have the different frequencies, but it should be done every day. Cleaning has to happen, reinforcement of all these ideas should happen. And you will see that gradually those things start entering into our consciousness. It start registering into our subconscious, and then those things will come. And that is how we can develop all those all those qualities. So we are talking about this dukha and sukha kshami. So I'll tell just one last story and then we'll close with that. So one time, this one king, he made an announcement that in the whole kingdom, somebody should come and present him something. That present should be so unique. By seeing that, if I'm happy, I should become sad. And if I'm sad, I should become happy. So somebody should think of that kind of present and offer to that king. King will reward you sufficiently. So anybody has any idea what kind of gift it is? Can you think of some gift like that? You offer to someone, and if there's some gift like that, first we want for ourselves. King we will offer later. We also want. When I'm sad, I should become happy. Of course, when I'm happy, I don't want to become sad. So what is that gift? So the announcement was made, and then people were thinking one intelligent person. He came one day after like few days of that announcement. Says, I have a special gift for you, king. And he offered one box. King opened that box, and there was a ring in that. He said, what is special about this ring? Some simple ring. Say, no, 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 no. You just see at the ring, something is engraved on that ring, something is written on the ring. And then that king, he read, and what was that? It says, this too shall pass. So we should always remember that this too shall pass. That is the nature of this world. So when you're too happy, too elated, remind yourself this too shall pass. Don't become too over, joyed. And then when there's some problem is going on, then you should again remind yourself this too shall pass. So don't become too over and too agitated like that. So these are some of the concepts we're discussing here. So this was the fifth jewel, but I think it is opening many more jewels. We'll see how we'll take it forward. We have many more verses in this series, so we'll discuss that. So we'll stop here unless anybody has any quick question or any comment. You can just unmute yourself. I see some hands here on online. We can just quickly take maybe one or two questions. I had to go for a program actually. I'm already late. I was supposed to move at 7 o'clock.
No,
There is a couple of questions. What are these couple of questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I can reiterate these questions again.
Mataji, you can just explain in short, maybe, and then I'll try
Yes,
to explain
yes.
very
If you
briefly.
can just give me the quick answers for these. Like
Yeah.
these two texts that you have mentioned here, today's class, do they recommend practicing developing all these qualities in order to be a dear devotee to Lord Krishna? Or does it mean that even if whatever position we are and whatever qualities we are lacking in, we still have to continue practicing those which we are lacking? Does it mean that?
Yeah. So yes, irrespective of whether we have those qualities or not, we had to practice our daily sadhana and the prescribed rules and regulations, and that will help us to develop all those qualities in the due course. But also again, we should always remember that we will not be able to develop those qualities on our own strength. That, oh, I figured out now how to become non-envious. Now I figured out that how to become always friendly. We had to sincerely keep praying to the Lord, keep working on whatever we can work, but ultimately these things will be bestowed by the Lord. So all those qualities, if at the end of the day we are able to develop, should know that we will be able to develop that by the grace of the Lord. We
And
cannot, yeah,
y-
so continue practicing.
Prabhu, in that part, you had also mentioned that Prabhupada mentioned that if you sincerely adhere to some practices, devotion practices, then automatically all these qualities will be manifested automatically. You said, right? Sincerely adhere to what? I couldn't hear the part.
Really adhere to very one line answer is adhering to the instruction of a bona fide guru. Very simple answer. So for
Okay.
us, it is Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada says, carefully read, understand, and try to practice with best of our ability. Somewhere you find it difficult to practice, take the guidance and help of practicing devotees. But somehow or other, we have to make the point that we sincerely follow all the instruction of Prabhupada.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. And the last main question is about envy, the concept of envy quality. And like from whatever I understood is, correct me if I'm wrong, what I understood is that if you see a person not having a love for Krishna or whom you don't like or whom you think are fallen or are dirty, then you should not hate them, but instead you should try cleaning them or try bringing them closer to Krishna. So that is the quality that one devotee should have, is what you mean by non-envious, correct?
Yes. So when we see something dirty, see there are two things. One thing is we should try to clean, but clean in such a way that you don't get dirty.
Okay.
That is also important. So you should be intelligent, smart enough when we deal with some people, those who have some negative qualities and all that. So when you associate with them, just be careful that you can help them, not that you get influenced by them. Somebody's talking, backbiting something in the temple, and you say, okay, let me go and help. And you also get carried away. You say, oh, yeah, you're right. I know this, I know that. And you also in the same boat. So just be careful.
Yeah. So in that sense, Prabhu, see, even if Bhima, like I'm just giving a rough example of Bhima versus Duryodhana, right? Bhima, although let's just assume that Duryodhana was not his brother for a moment. Just assume that he's another human, okay? So if Bhima is considered a devotee, Bhima already hated this aspect of this disgusting behavior from Duryodhana, right? So in spite of that, his intention when he was trying to attack him was not to cleanse him or not to bring him closer to Krishna or that kind of sense. I am thinking that I don't know if that is right. Then how
Okay.
can he be a devotee because he did not practice this? And Kunti Mata also supported him when he was taking that revenge because he did that for satisfying the
Let me
revenge.
answer this. I got your question. I'll answer. So the question is just for the others though who did not understand. So we are saying the devotee should always try to help if you see some negative qualities in others. So Bhima and all Arjuna and all these Pandavas, they saw that Duryodhana is a little bad character. So instead of trying to help him and improve him, they didn't help him, but rather they killed him and he supported. So how we can say that they are the devotees? So we should understand it this way. See, that needs little intelligence. Intelligence in the sense, say, sometime we get some infection in some part of the body. So we should definitely try to help and cure that infection, remove that, take some medicine and all that for others also. But some infections are too, what do you say, severe. And instead of, like, say, for example, COVID came. So you say, okay, let me help. But sometimes you cannot help, so better you stay away. I'm just giving some crude example. So sometimes the infection is like that, the doctor recommends that you have to amputate your that particular limb. Otherwise, that infection will spread around. So some of the infections are so severe that you cannot cure them. You have to cut them. So that needs little intelligence and little guidance. So for Bhima and Arjuna, there was a right guidance was there. Krishna was there. They did not try to cure that infection because that infection was too intense and severe. So sometime, that part has to be cut. But it was not out of hatred or out of enviousness that we all know. Arjuna was not even willing to fight. He was going to the extent of leaving all kingdom and going to the forest. That is how the whole Bhagavad Gita begins. But he did under the guidance of Krishna as a matter of duty. So it was not out of hatred or enviousness. They killed those Kauravas. They're ready to even sacrifice and compromise and all of that. So that is the understanding. So it needs little guidance. And see, when we talk about all these concepts, there's more, fine line to everything. So that needs little more maturity and more guidance.
Correct, Prabhu. Because in that aspect, like when I'm trying to utilize this concept in my real life. In practicality, I don't know when I should respond and when I should react to any kind of negative influences or negative situations happening in my life. So,
Okay, so the simple answer is when you should respond and when you should react. Answer is try to never react in any situation. Respond, you can figure out when you will respond. Reaction is not the solution of anything. But sometimes no response is the best response. But that needs little intelligence. When not to respond. Say husband and wife, I'm just crude example. I have no experience of all of those things. Then husband and wife, they're arguing in something. One person among these two should become intelligent not to respond that time. Logically, you may have your own reasons and arguments to defeat. But if you see that person is not in a mood to hear or understand and to allow you to say something, then the best response in those kind of situation is no response. So no response is also the response. So those kind of response also we should understand. Okay, we'll take more questions later. Never react. So true. Okay, yes. Thank you, Mataji, for supporting my statement. We are all practicing. Sometime, we are put into the situation, that no reaction, but just come out. So that is how we learn. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Wonderful discussion. I think we'll take more discussion on this concepts. I have to now go for some program. So let us just quickly chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra. And I'll beg your pardon that I had to leave in between. So I'll start the chanting and you all can complete the chanting. Somebody can take the responsibility. And then after that, just set up the chairs back and then Then go for Prashant. Okay, I had to leave. I'm already 25 minutes late. I was asked to finish at 7 o'clock. So I couldn't control my emotions. Came out. Okay, let us chant now. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.